In today's video, we're going to be talking about a few vehicles that I think should be remastered in GTA 5 Online. Some of you are probably like, what the hell does remastered mean for cars in GTA 5? Well, this is pretty much what I'm talking about. You guys remember when the Gauntlet Hellfire was released? The first car we had was the regular Gauntlet. It's still a Dodge Challenger, but it's a much older version, and now we have a much newer version, and I think it looks awesome. So we're going to be going over some vehicles that should be remastered like this. Back in 2013, there was a ton of awesome cars in the game. They were fan favorites and everybody loved them, and they're still some of my favorite cars in reality today. But as time went by, some newer cars were added, and these older cars were then washed out by the newer ones, and nobody even gives them a second look, even though some of those older cars are still amazing. So, we're going to be going over some of those older cars and taking a look at what they would look like if they were remastered in GTA 5. I truly think it's an amazing idea. Rockstar's done it before in the past, so who says they won't do it again in the future? And some of the vehicles in this video I think would be the perfect candidates. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get into it. First up is the Adder, one of the most popular cars from back in the day, and also based off of my favorite Bugatti in real life, the Bugatti Veyron. So I would love to see if Rockstar could recreate this and make it look like a more updated version of the Veyron, either being the Grand Sport, the Super Sport, or just the regular Veyron. It's awesome. It would really be perfect because with the Nero that we have in game and also the Thrax, those two cars look very similar to the Chiron and the Devo in real life. I've gone over them in my Real Cars versus GTA Cars videos in the past, and Rockstar did an amazing job at recreating those vehicles. But since the Adder was released in 2013, obviously the cars back then didn't look too realistic to how the cars look in real life. But nowadays, Rockstar is putting a lot more time into creating these cars in GTA 5, and they're really making them look like the cars in real life. So if the Adder was done properly, it could truly look like an amazing vehicle, and I think it's an amazing candidate to be remastered in the future, either being in a regular DLC update, or maybe when Expanded and Enhanced comes out, we might see a car like this remastered and added into the game. But I think the Bugatti Veyron desperately needs an update because it was such a popular car back then, and there's no doubt that it wouldn't become extremely popular again if it was remastered and made a little bit better in terms of performance. The next car I would love to see remastered is the Turismo R, another very popular car from back in the day in GTA 5. And if it was remastered to a more modern version of a LaFerrari, I think that would be awesome. It's pretty clear the LaFerrari is definitely one of the most popular Ferraris aside the Enzo and of course the 458. But I think the car is beautiful. Now in-game, the Turismo R is clearly based off of the LaFerrari, and it also shares a few key components from the McLaren P1, but you really can't see them because they're not really obvious. But in my opinion, the Turismo R doesn't really look too much like the LaFerrari. It's more of a one-off version, I guess, that Rockstar made. And like I said before, the Turismo was added in the game a very, very long time ago, just like the Adder, so back then the cars weren't really too realistic to how they are now. And I'm not sure if it's just me, but I would love to drive a LaFerrari around in GTA 5 Online. It's a beautiful car, and when I have it on PC, I'm just looking at it like, damn, you put it in a nice bright red, and that thing looks amazing. So there's no doubt as well that if Rockstar did add this car into the game and remastered it from the regular Turismo R, everybody would love it. If you want skins and V-Bucks in Fortnite, want to become max level in Call of Duty, need money in GTA 5, or anything else for a ton of other games, check out Digizani down below in the description and get 10% off your order by using code Frolics at checkout. Next up is the Dubsta. Now, this car doesn't necessarily need to be remastered, but honestly, the new version of the G63 AMG looks beautiful. And if we could have a brand new version of the Dubsta in GTA 5, that would be awesome. Since you can't purchase the dubsta on an automotive site currently, it would be really cool if Rockstar releases a brand new version of it that we could actually purchase, because tons of celebrities own this car and it just oozes luxury. Like, it's an amazing car. You don't know how many times I ask my friends, if you had to pick a luxury SUV to purchase, which one would you buy? And they all say a G-Wagon, and I guarantee a lot of you guys would as well. Personally, for me, I wouldn't buy it. I'd get something more like a Trackhawk or the Durango Hellcat or something along the lines of that, because I like a little bit more performance instead of just, you know, luxury. But hey, that's just me. But honestly, back in the day, I used to drive the dubsta around all the time, and it looks like a real G-Wagon. It looks really nice, but it also looks like a really old G-Wagon. Like, if you search up a picture of a 2006 G-Wagon, it pretty much looks identical to that. And then you take a look at the 2019 version that I'm driving, and you're like, damn, that thing looks awesome. So just imagine if a month from now, Rockstar releases some kind of luxury rich person update to go alongside owning a CEO office, and they're like, you know what, you guys have made a ton of money, why not blow it on some amazing luxury vehicles? And guess what? They aren't going to be crazy expensive. The G-Wagon's only going to cost you a whopping $200,000. That would be pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie to you guys. But when you compare it to this one, it looks awesome. Like, just take a look at them right here. You can clearly see the 2019 version has a couple of features that just look really, really cool, and the one we currently have in game just looks really outdated. But I have to say, Rockstar did a really good job at recreating that car, but it's a shame that we can't even purchase it. We have to find it on the sides of the streets. So who knows, maybe we'll be able to bring the current dubsta into Benny's and we'll be able to upgrade it into a more modern version, just like how we can do that with other vehicles and make them into older versions of cars or newer ones. I think would be pretty awesome. But the G-Wagon is a vehicle that I think should definitely be remastered. Next up is the Infernus, and this was another really popular car back in the day. It wasn't really too great of a race car, but it was just a really popular one. It would be awesome if Rockstar remastered it to make it look like the Lamborghini Murcielago. Now, I know the Infernus is heavily based off of the Murcielago and also the Diablo, but in my opinion, I think it looks more like the Murcielago. The Infernus Classic looks a lot more like the Diablo, though. So if Rockstar were to remaster it, I think it would be pretty cool, and they've done it kind of before, like how they made the Turismo Classic look just like the Ferrari F40. So it doesn't necessarily mean if they were to remaster it, it has to be a much newer version of the car. It could just be a better created version of the car. And I think the Lamborghini Murcielago is one of the nicest Lamborghinis that Lamborghini ever made, and that's my opinion, but I love that car. I remember I saw a fully blacked out one driving on the highway one time, and I was like, holy shit, I was flipping out. That thing looked so beautiful, it was so low to the ground, and I just loved it. And like I said, it's one of my favorite Lamborghinis. So honestly, if Rockstar were to add a newer version of the Infernus, or not a newer version, but just a remastered version to make it look more like the Murcielago, I think it would be really, really cool, because it's a beautiful car, and it would be awesome if we could drive it around in races, because some of these older supercars are really nice, but we can't really use them in races anymore if we want to win. If we want to use them in races, we can, but we're probably not going to win unless we're literally in a lobby with a bunch of level 1s. And even if we are, there's a very good chance we probably still won't win, because the cars are just really slow. And if you guys want to see the stats of all of these supercars, there's a link down below in the description to the pros and cons and the stats of every single supercar in GTA 5. But the Infernus is a beautiful car, and I would love for it to be remastered into a Lamborghini Murcielago that looks just a little more realistic. Even though the Infernus was done pretty well, it would be awesome if we can have a much more updated version. The final car I would love to see remastered is the Zentorno, and I would love to see it remastered into the Lamborghini Veneno. Now, I know what you guys are gonna say. The Zentorno is not really based too much off of the Veneno, and it's mainly based off of the Sesto Elemento. The key factors that you see are, of course, the triangle shapes on the hood, and then, of course, the hexagonal shapes on the rear near the engine bay. But I have to admit, when I look at these two cars, I see so many similarities between the Veneno and the Zentorno. And I honestly think it looks a lot more like that car compared to the Sesto Elemento. Maybe it's just the way that Rockstar created it in GTA 5. It's pretty clear that they both do share similarities with the Zentorno, but like I said, in my opinion, I think it looks a little bit more like the Veneno compared to the Sesto Elemento. But I think this car would be amazing to have in GTA 5. Just look at how beautiful this thing looks. It's one of the rarest Lamborghinis of all time, I believe, and it's also extraordinarily expensive, but the thing is gorgeous, downright gorgeous, and it would be awesome to have this thing in GTA 5. It's a crazy looking supercar, and we've gotten crazy supercars before. I never expected the Devastate 8 to be added into GTA 5 Online, and that's a one-off crazy supercar in real life that honestly, we don't really know if it's actually 5,000 horsepower, but who knows, we'll have to figure that out in like 10 years when they finally show us an actual clip of them doing a quarter mile or something, or a real video of them on a dyno. But anyways, the Veneno is a beautiful car, and I would love to see it remastered in GTA 5 Online. Well guys, this is my list for the vehicles that I think should be remastered in GTA 5 Online. Let me know what you guys think of this down below. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And also, comment down below if I missed any vehicles that you think should be remastered from some older ones to a much more modernized version. Let me know down below. But with that said, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to smash a massive thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more content just like this. But with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.